You want to know why you misjudge success, why certain people seem effortlessly extraordinary while you grind, sweat, claw your way forward, yet still feel miles behind. You want to know why you chase certain goals with devotion, sacrifice, obsession, only to discover, years later, that you were worshipping a mirage. You want to know why you look at winners, champions, elites, and mistake their nature for their effort. So listen closely, because this illusion, the swimmer's body illusion, has manipulated your decisions far more than you realize, and today it stops controlling you. Before we dive in, understand this: the art of thinking clearly is not a book, it's a weapon. A blade forged to cut through the psychological traps that stalk you, shape you, and quietly puppet master your life. It exposes the mechanisms that distort your vision, that poison your decisions, that whisper lies into your mind until you mistake weakness for wisdom. Every chapter drags into the light a mental pitfall humans stumble into again and again. And today's principle, the swimmer's body illusion, is among the most lethal. It reveals why you misjudge talent, success, attractiveness, achievement, and most humiliating of all, yourself. It shows how often you confuse results with origins, how easily you waste years chasing goals that were never yours to chase, goals crafted for bodies, minds, and dispositions you do not possess. Because you don't just admire the winners. You fantasize that their outcomes are proof of their relentless discipline, when in truth, much of their advantage was baked in from the start. And yet you chase the shadows they cast, believing that mimicry will turn you into a masterpiece. But here's the real power. When you understand these illusions, you don't simply think more clearly. You begin forging your strategy muscle. A muscle built for precision, for filtration, for domination. You stop copying what winners do and start understanding why they win, which is infinitely more dangerous. And every time you absorb a lesson like this, that strategic muscle grows sharper, harder, more ruthless. Soon you won't just avoid bad decisions, you'll make moves other people can't even detect, let alone predict. Now, step forward. Let's enter the illusion that has shaped your life far more than you ever realized. You've been told your entire life that success is simple. Work hard, stay disciplined, copy what winners do, and someday you'll sit beside them. But that's a lie dressed as wisdom, a comforting myth for the masses. You see a swimmer's sculpted torso and think, if I train like them, I'll look like them. Pathetic. You're already falling for the trap. You see a millionaire CEO and think, if I follow their morning routine, I'll become one of them. As if a cup of matcha and a sunrise jog were the engines behind empires. You see Ivy League graduates dominating industries and whisper, if I could just get into a school like that, I'd be unstoppable, as though the gate opens for effort alone. But here's the brutal, humiliating truth. You're not studying the causes, you're worshipping the survivors. You're looking at people who succeeded because of traits, advantages, and predispositions they possessed long before the journey even began. Their results are built on foundations you never saw. The swimmer doesn't have the body because of the training. The swimmer trains because of the body they already had. And you, blindly, earnestly, have been modeling yourself after outcomes, not origins, chasing the visible trophies, ignoring the invisible architecture. This is the trap. This is the illusion. And it has shaped your ambitions more than you'd ever dare admit. Lesson 1. The world doesn't show you the whole picture. It shows you the winners. You look at models selling beauty products, and some small, pathetic voice in your mind whispers that buying the product might make you beautiful too. But the model wasn't transformed by the product. The model was selected because she already possessed the beauty the product pretends to offer. The product is a prop, a marketing parasite clinging to pre-existing perfection. You see Harvard producing fleets of high achievers and assume the institution forged them. A charming fantasy. Harvard doesn't manufacture excellence. It harvests it. It collects the brightest minds and then basks in the reflected glow, while the world foolishly praises the machine instead of the raw materials it absorbs. And now, ask yourself, with all the honesty you usually avoid, how many times have you confused selection with creation? How many times have you attributed greatness to the system, the method, the routine? Instead of recognizing that the system simply filters for the exceptional, the answer is simple. Far more times than you'd ever dare admit.
Hey guys, we're Strategy, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
Lesson 2. Society thrives on this illusion because it keeps you chasing. Cosmetic companies need you to believe beauty can be bought in a bottle. Luxury brands need you to believe confidence can be worn like a costume. Universities need you to believe success can be purchased with a tuition payment. Everywhere you turn, someone is feeding you a shortcut, a ritual, a routine, a product, promising to transform you into the person you admire. Not because it's real, not because it's possible, but because your desperation is profitable. You've been conditioned, trained like livestock, to imitate outcomes: abs, charisma, status, wealth, prestige. You copy the external trophies without ever questioning whether you possess the internal traits those trophies demanded at the starting line. And it's not entirely your fault. Humans are wired to stare at winners and reverse engineer the finish, never the foundation. We instinctively study the visible, not the vital. But understand this: winners are not just the sum of their habits. They are the sum of their inborn advantages, psychological predispositions, and natural inclinations. Sharpened by effort, yes, but present long before effort began. What they did mattered, but who they already were mattered more. Lesson 3. You carry illusions about yourself too. Happy people love to preach their gospel of simplicity. Just look on the bright side. Just be grateful. Just stop worrying. They speak as if happiness were a switch you simply forgot to flip. As if your struggles are nothing more than a personal oversight. What they don't realize, what many can't realize, is that they were born with a temperament engineered for optimism. Their positivity didn't come from journaling or meditation or some bargain bin self-help ritual. It came from wiring, a psychological advantage they mistake for virtue, and then you compare yourself to them. You assume your difficulty in choosing happiness is a moral failure, a weakness, a flaw in your character. But you're not failing. You're fighting biology, the invisible opponent they never had to face. They start the race on flat ground while you run uphill and blame yourself for being slower. It's the same illusion wearing a different mask, confusing natural predisposition for effort, treating innate temperament as if it were a skill, believing you can copy an outcome without sharing the internal architecture. The swimmer's body illusion doesn't just distort how you see the world. It distorts how you see yourself. Lesson 4. Each time you look up to someone, you risk misunderstanding what truly made them great. Take the workplace. You see the charismatic team leader, the one who dominates a room the moment he crosses the threshold. You assume he learned that confidence, that he forged it through practice and repetition. But confidence rarely begins as a skill. It begins as advantage, early social ease, extroversion, supportive environments, posture shaped in childhood, a lifetime of reinforcement. What you're admiring may not be mastery at all, but traits silently installed long before adulthood. Now look at relationships. Your friend glides through dating like gravity bends in her favor. You assume she's trained, studied, unlocked some secret system. The truth, she possesses natural assets, a certain look, a certain warmth in her voice, a certain background that makes others instinctively open to her. Her effortless success is often exactly that, effortless. But you keep doing it, comparing your hard-fought, painstakingly learned effort to someone else's inherited edge. It's a losing comparison, a rigged game. And the worst part, you blame yourself for losing. You judge your worth against advantages you never had access to, and illusions you never knew you were worshipping. Lesson 5. This illusion blinds you to your actual strengths. You spend your life measuring yourself against people selected for traits you never had. And in doing so, you ignore the arenas where you might be the natural-born predator. Maybe you'll never swim like an Olympian, but maybe your analytical mind cuts cleaner than any blade in their arsenal. Maybe you'll never run a Fortune 500 empire, but maybe your emotional intelligence reads people like open books, a weapon most executives lack entirely. Maybe you'll never become a model, but your creativity, your resilience, your ability to endure hardship, these are the quiet advantages others envy, but will never admit. You keep forcing yourself into battles designed for someone else's strengths, bleeding yourself out for their trophies. Meanwhile, the games engineered for you sit untouched, unexplored, unconquered. Lesson 6. Imitation is not mastery. Selection is not skill. The self-help industry thrives on your naivete. It survives because you believe success is a formula. Wake up at 5 a.m. Meditate. Cold shower. Write goals. Eat clean. Repeat until greatness materializes. But what if the people preaching these rituals aren't successful because of them? What if they succeeded because they were predisposed to grit, intelligence, charm, talent, or perfect timing, long before they discovered green juice and discipline porn? The illusion is powerful enough to trap billions. If you fell for it, you're not alone. You were targeted. Lesson 7. Don't envy the swimmer's body. Study the swimmer's selection. Every field selects for its own biological aristocracy. Basketball selects height. Ballet selects symmetry and bone structure. Acting selects facial expressiveness. Finance selects aggression and risk tolerance. Entrepreneurship selects delusional optimism, the kind most people can't fake. If you confuse these selection traits for results, you'll chase fantasies that drain decades from your life. But once you understand the traits required before the race begins, everything changes. You choose battles where your natural advantages actually matter. You stop mimicking. You start strategizing. Lesson 8. This illusion also explains failure you never deserved. Maybe you auditioned for something you were never genetically suited for. Maybe you pursued a degree that rewarded a learning style you don't possess. Maybe you entered a field that prizes aggression while you're wired for contemplation. Maybe you chased a relationship dynamic that selects for traits you don't naturally carry. You didn't fail. You misread the battlefield. Now you get to choose again, with clarity sharpened by truth. Lesson 9. The key to success isn't working harder, it's choosing smarter. Before you sprint into your next ambition, stop. Study the people who succeed in the domain you want. Ask yourself, what traits did they already possess before their journey began? Do I share any of those traits? Do I have different ones pointing toward a better battlefield? This is power. This is clarity. The world worships hustle, but hustle without strategic self-awareness is just self-inflicted suffering. Lesson 10. The mirror is your first mentor. Before you begin any dream, any pursuit, any reinvention, stand in front of the mirror, not to judge, not to shame, but to finally see, honestly, without illusion. What raw materials were you given? What natural advantages do you possess? What limitations are real? Not excuses, but realities. The swimmer's body illusion dissolves the moment you stop forcing someone else's blueprint onto your own biology. Only then can you design a strategy ruthless enough, accurate enough, to unlock your true potential. You've spent years chasing shadows, worshipping winners, misunderstanding what creates greatness. But now the fog evaporates. You were never meant to imitate. You were meant to choose. And the moment you stop contorting yourself to fit someone else's mold, you unleash progress that feels unfair in its speed, the kind of acceleration only possible when you operate in the arena designed for you. The swimmer's body illusion stole your accuracy. Today, you take it back. So step forward, not into someone else's race, but into the one built around your wiring, your strengths, your advantages. Because when you choose the right battlefield, your battlefield, victory isn't luck, it isn't a miracle. It's the inevitable outcome of finally aligning who you are with where you fight.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.